Hello, everybody. This is Ryan Carpenter with No BS Golf, presented by P45 Knuckledown Golf. Well, it's a rain day today, and I know that, like most recreational players, fair weather is typically the way to go. And, I can get that if you're not, accustomed to playing in the rain and you don't have all the tour level rain gear with pants and jackets and special gloves and umbrellas and all the things. It makes sense. But it's a new day and age. Just like the place that I just partnered with here recently in my neck of the woods, we've got indoor facilities. We've got covered ranges, heated ranges, Top Golf, so you name it. So it doesn't mean we can't find the way to put in the time, right? There's always a way. Are you willing to do it? There's a real question, right? Yeah, that's always the key question that we always have when it comes to meeting with people and say, hey, let's achieve your goals. Are you ready to do something about it? And it kind of goes back to the post I had yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, and the one from the Mr. John Sherman. It's at Practical Golf on Twitter, and he had a great post, and it's important to understand it. If you're going to decide for yourself, you know what, tired of playing golf this way, I don't want to hit it like this, I don't want to hit it like that, whatever. Figure it out. Find your coach. I'm available, by the way. and stick to the process and be ready to put some work in. I mean, it doesn't get more simpler than that. So, anyways, on days like today, these are the perfect opportunities, in fact, to get away from the golf course, get away from the range. There's a lot of distractions out there, and go to your indoor facility. You can get a bay. You can have the tools you need, to make sure you're doing things right and all that kind of stuff. But the whole time, you can be watching March Madness while you're actually getting better at golf. It doesn't get any better than that, right? Throw on the Valspar on one of them channels and watch them guys go through the snake pit, which, I gotta be honest, after yesterday's scoring, it seems like they softened things up again. I don't know. It's kind of a weird look for the tour. It almost feels like they're making it too easy right now. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this weekend we get a little bit of a change in that, but, it is raining. So here and right there right now, I believe, as well. So they're not too far down the road from us. Anyhow, so don't put it all away. Don't just give up and go do something else. Keep finding 30 minutes even, right? Go in, 30 minutes of work. Sit down, watch the game, have a beer, have some food, go on about your day. Great. But we don't want to just completely give up what we're doing and working on just because of the rain, just because of cold weather, just because of some snow. All the reasons out there that exist, right? Yeah. Taking time off means it's only going to take longer to get back. And coming from the years that, at the clubs, some of the clubs I worked at with some of the tour pros, and if they take a week off, because they'd have to at some point, vacation, family, you got to do it. But boy, they'd always say about the same thing. It's about twice as long as the time off to get back to where they were when they started that time off. So they take a week off. It's about a 2-week process to really grind and get back to where they were. You take 2 weeks off, it's like 4 weeks basically. That's kind of the sort of rule, I guess you could apply. And obviously they're talking about it from a different standpoint, but the idea is this. If you accomplish this much after a while of playing, let's say 3 months, and you take a week off, it's going to take a while to get right back to where you were. To go even further past that, it's going to take even longer. So don't take time off. Put in a little bit of time every day. Just like everything else on your schedule, find that window. 15 minutes of putting at home. 15 minutes of chipping in the backyard. 30 minutes in a bay down at your local indoor place. Whatever it is, find the time. By the way, our local indoor place that just opened. www.thegolfpub.com. It is great. Go check it out, folks. If you're in Middle Georgia, it's well worth the drive. And by the way, I'll be there at times. Schedule it with me, of course. But that is where I will be teaching out of here going forward, along with the city course. So, anyhow, one of the things I wanted to cover today as well, I got to looking at, like normal things on the Twitterverse and YouTubings and all kinds of stuff. And I posted a picture. You'll have to go to the old Twitter. It's at P45KDG. Okay, all together, and you can see the picture there. But I had John Daly. We all know him, right? And I had Jim Furyk. Pretty much everybody knows him, I would say. And then Jon Rahm. Everybody knows Jon Rahm, I think. And anyway, I took some images of them at the top of the golf swing, right? So way up there. And I wanted to kind of, it's hard via these medias and things to really, truly impress upon people information and whatnot. And YouTube's a little bit easier, but it's the in-person that really counts. Like, that's when you can really get down to business and start to help people start to sort things out and understand and, begin to dive into philosophies and versus theories. Those are two different things. And break down, okay, well, of all that information that's out there, what's good? What's not so good? Yeah. And anyways, what I wanted to basically do was show, like, look, these three players at the top of the golf swing, there's nothing almost at all similar. I got same basic postures, yes, and somewhat similar rotational in their core and, things like that are, yes, very. But the things that are obvious is especially where the club is. One's wrapped around the head, one's back here over here, all over the blade. So the question I posted was, what's correct? Which one is, quote unquote, correct? There is no such thing as correct, folks. I mean, they are the proof right out of the gates that you've got three guys who have won majors. And yeah, we can dive into the details and say, well, because of this, maybe John's not quite as good as, Daly's not quite as good as Rahm, and so on. But there's a lot of factors. It's not just the golf swing, right? So there's other parts to it. But if we just look at the golf swings only, we know that they all three hit the ball basically really differently, for sure. And they also look differently here. But we know they all three have accomplished some amazing things. And so the question is, how did three completely different positions, I don't like to use that word so much, but it is what it is, at the top, another word I don't like so much, but three different top positions all translate, however, into fairly similar-ish ball striking. In other words, they all learned from that position how to hit a ball pretty dang good. And so what I wanted to post in that, on these posts that I put up today, is it's basically a small glimpse into, after 25 years, I've kind of, created a more concise philosophy about how to go about all this. And we know this for sure. Even though these three positions are very different, what they do from that point on are much more similar, however. Not exact. There's no such thing as exact. You can hit a golf ball a lot of different ways and still be successful. But they all do a lot of similar things, and for exact reasons that we know and can measure now, we know what they do. That's what's important right there. So the question is, why do they do it? Big one. Always, by the way, when you're taking lessons or reading or watching the YouTubing and all this stuff, ask those questions. Why? And if they can't answer it, it's a red flag. But what they do in transition from the top into the downswing and all the way through into the impact and so on and so forth, there are things they're all doing basically the same, and they're for the same basic reasons. And if you want to simplify it to the easiest level, it's very simple. To create the most consistent pattern, good strike on the golf ball, with lots of speed transfer to make that ball go far, right? Yeah, what we all want. Go towards that target, the middle of that fairway, that flag on that green, with as much control and consistency and speed and all the things we're looking for. Hit the ball good, folks. That's it. They all do it to hit the ball good. Now, I don't think it gets much easier than that, right? But then there are details to dive into. If you're going to go through a process of learning, if you're going to get to the point of understanding what that really means, that's where the lesson process comes into place. But as a simplified version, they don't have to be correct at the top of the golf swing. Each of them have a different set of functions they need to input into the club from their different positions. It's an important thing to know. But they don't have to be exactly the same to have success. They are going to have different outputs. They are going to have different consistency levels. They are going to have different distance capabilities. They are going to have different spin things. So that's where the details come into play. But the big picture is this. It doesn't technically matter where you are at the top of the swing. What does matter at the top of the swing is, can you do all the similar things that lead to eventually skills that create success in how you hit a golf ball. And that's the big picture, folks. P45 Knuckle Down Golf. It's basically a glimpse into the philosophy that I've been developing for 25 years. So, if you have questions, you are absolutely, I'm not saying you can't. I want you to go ask the questions. In fact, I want you to ask what else you want to learn. If you want to come watch these YouTubes and get more information, tell me what you want. Go to the comment section right down there. I know you can see it right down there, right? Also, smash that like button, please. That helps me a ton. Subscribe as well. That helps me as well, and I appreciate that. Also, share it out there. Go to that Twitterverse. Go to your little Facebook page. Whatever you got and you want to share my information, please help me. I appreciate it. And in return, again, I will answer any questions you have. I will put up any content that you want on this YouTube and on the Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So if you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. As always, everybody enjoy the weekend. Hopefully we get a little bit of clearing up and not so much rain, and we can get out and actually get to enjoying some of the spring weather. And, as always, take care, folks.